the plan on display inside. We'll first start with our first speaker, Chairwoman of the BLDC, MP Levita Fogo.
Thank you, and good afternoon to all. As both the area MP for St. David's and chairperson of BLDC, I am pleased that over the last 8 months, the BLDC team and the Department of Planning have been working on a joint initiative to prepare a community plan for St. David's. It gives me great pleasure today to publicly introduce the draft St. David's Community Plan, and I am pleased that both the minister responsible for planning as well as the minister for Kwangurs are here to speak on the importance of the milestone. Highlight that this is the community. It reflects what the community and different stakeholders have said they would like to see for St. David's. And I would like to thank everyone who took time to participate in the online surveys, who wrote in and provided their comments and recommendations. I would like to invite the community to an open house at Triton House where the public can come and see a presentation of the draft plan any weekday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. until Friday, September the 2nd. Copies of the draft plan will also be available to read, and members of staff will be on hand to answer any questions. The draft St. David's Community Plan is also available online on the BLDC and the Department of Planning's websites and the government's Citizen Forum. And just so that you know, those websites are www.bldc.bm/communityplan, www.planning.gov.bm, and forum.gov.bm. On these websites, you will also find a link to an online where you can provide comments on the draft plan, or you can email your comments to info@bldc.bm. We look forward to the community's continued involvement in helping to prepare this community plan for St. David's. Now, I invite Minister Robin and Minister Birch, and it will first be Minister Robin. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chairperson Fogo, for the introduction of this very important announcement. Happy to be in the East today to be a part of this very important presentation. And thank you for everyone who's here to join us today as we launch the draft community plan for St. David's. And this is, as the Chair, MP Fogo, said, this is Bermuda's first community plan. When preparing community plans, we aim to identify what communities most cherish about their areas, their needs, and of course their desires, and what they would like to see improved in their community. As such, the plan does not showcase conceptual developments, but is the foundation which current and future initiatives should be based. Before proceeding any further, I would like to recognize the collaborative efforts of the Department of Planning and the Bermuda Land Development Company, BLDC, which created the St. David's Community Plan over the last 8 months. And I must say, for all those involved, a job well done. Within the plan, you will see that it reflects the St. David's community, their identity, feedback based on 2 community surveys, and all the recommendations provided by St. David's residents and those who work, visit, and live in St. David's. And I also want to thank the whole community of St. David's and the local stakeholders for their commitment and effort to sharing their thoughts on this plan. You have all provided extremely useful recommendations that will not only help with this plan, but plans going forward. The community plan indicates those stakeholders who may be involved in various initiatives. It also includes goals and objectives and action items to guide the provision of community improvements and developments for the next 10 years, next 10 to 5 years. I encourage, as the chairman has already done so, community stakeholders and interested parties to visit Southside BLDC office to view the plan and supporting material and to provide their feedback as they review that material. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you think is a vision for your community. And you can add, you can change and amend this plan and make submissions to do that if you so wish. Moving forward with this information, all stakeholders, entrepreneurs, and others who have an interest in the plan and the community should be using this plan as a tool and guidelines for finding out what the community wants, needs, and what they would like to see for the future. I would just like to add that I am very proud of the work that the planning leadership has provided on this plan. It is a part of a long-term strategy which is embedded into the Bermuda Plan to focus on community, environmental protection, and sustainable development. So this is the first step in that component of the Bermuda Plan being realized. And I am so glad that this started in St. David's. St. David's is very important to the history, to the culture, and to the fabric of the community. And they are deserving of having the first opportunity to be part of this wonderful journey that the whole island can take advantage of now with community plans. Thank you, and I now will turn the podium over to Minister Colonel David Birch. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Premier. Good afternoon. The Ministry of Public Works and its Quangos are working and will continue to work together to ensure the provision of better infrastructure and services for the community. Currently, we are working to complete the East End water and wastewater infrastructure upgrade by the end of this year. This project will see the replacement of dated and obsolete water supply pumps and piping. It will also see the upgrade and expansion of sewage collection, which will enable the St. George's sewage outfall to be closed, a significant improvement for the entire country. This St. David's Community Plan is another important step where collaboration between government departments, Quangos, and stakeholders enables us to build a stronger community upon which to attract and maintain businesses and investments in St. David's. This community plan highlights St. David's strengths as well as recommendations for improvements. One key item within the plan is the community's overwhelming desire for a new grocery store. The draft plan highlights this economic and social opportunity and how stakeholders and entrepreneurs should be looking to work together to fill this community need. We are already seeing improvements in St. David's. The wastewater infrastructure project I mentioned earlier, a new community garden recently opened at Little Head Park, and the memorial rock and plaque at Ennis Bay installed recently by the St. David's Historical Society. Additionally, there have been ongoing efforts to integrate and enhance the St. David's community, such as removing old military fencing where it is no longer necessary, removing certain signs, and cleaning up areas which are becoming dumping grounds, and other efforts to beautify areas within St. David's. It is hoped that this St. David's Community Plan will be actively used and continuously updated so that it evolves and reflects the community's changing priorities over time. I too encourage everyone to come to Triton House over the next 2 weeks to view the draft plan or to read it online and to provide your comments and feedback. I'd like to thank all those involved in developing this plan, particularly Ms. Julie Marshall, Senior Planning Officer in the Department of Planning, who seconded to the BLDC to produce the plan. BLDC, under the leadership of Chair and of the Board, MP Lovita Fogo, and Interim CEO Andrew Diaz, are committed to strengthening the ties between themselves and the people of St. David's. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the news media? Jonathan Bell.
I did just have a few. Minister Roman, I think you mentioned this is the first of the community plans, so
Yes.
about what other community plans might be in the pipeline?
Well, that will be up to the members of the community to decide what they want, and those who wish to have the benefit of the same treatment that St. David's has taken up and had the opportunity to have the benefit of. Community plans, as I said earlier, are a cornerstone of the 2018 Bermuda Plan, along with environmental protections and also sustainable development. So it is our desire over the upcoming years that every part of Bermuda has the benefit of actually an assessment and having the opportunity to develop a community plan. The Bermuda Plan has essentially evolved now, and where we're trying to take it is that instead of having this cookie cutter approach to planning across the island, that it will take into consideration the special needs of different parts of the community. For example, the needs and development needs of Pembroke are different from the development needs of St. George's. Vice versa, Warwick, Southampton, Sands. All these communities have certain, characteristics and interests that are different from other parts of the island, and that should be taken into consideration going forward. That is why community plans have become a cornerstone of the Bermuda Plan itself.
So I feel like this folks want to have their own community plan as well as different.
Absolutely, and we stand ready to assist them with those developments for all parts of the community that wish to take advantage of it.
Now, apologies if this is actually already in the draft plan. I hadn't seen it yet, but I did want to ask about Marginal Wharf. There's been various proposals for it. One was potentially moving some of the Hamilton port, the docks, to the east end. And I believe on Colonel Crutch, there was some tentative discussion on potentially having a power utility there. Just if there's any update on what plans might be happening with Marginal Wharf.
Those discussions are still ongoing. No decision has been made. It's the first I'm hearing about a power plant, though, but I wouldn't put it out of the equation.
I went online last night just to ask folks from St. David's what to ask, and the phrase community hub came up. I guess there's kind of a feeling like there's not a center, a hub for this community. Maybe linking in with the supermarket idea is there anything envisaged? It seems they really want a supermarket, but that could serve as a quote-unquote hub for the community.
I'll let the chairman of the board speak to it, but certainly it is the number one request from the residents of St. David's. So I'm sure that the LDC will look at it favorably about creating a building. The building behind us was a supermarket. It won't be that big. That's overreach. But I'm sure we can work together to come up with a solution.
Hi, Jonathan. Yes, I just want to remind you that this is the first step. And you mentioned a hub. The St. David's Cricket Club area has always been considered the hub of St. David's. And in looking at the requests coming from the community, we are trying to ensure that that is instituted within this community plan. And certainly the draft plan will demonstrate that, and the CEO can add to that.
The draft plan is just that. It's a draft plan, and I think we've spoken enough about it. So it is not a development plan, and those are two completely different things. And so when you ask about specifics, that will come from the community plan. So the community has definitely said that they would like to see things like a grocery store, like an ATM and other amenities. And what stakeholders like BLDC and others, they should take this information and look at it and say, this is what the community wants. How do we now facilitate and ensure that these needs are addressed, hopefully in a timely manner? Okay?
Any other questions? Thank you very much, news media, for attending.
And if you want to take some pictures inside?
Yeah, there's inside, there's presentation. Okay. The plan.